Vipi wase Ndeg Zapa. This is the preview for game week 32. Normally I do this with my boy Kenan, but we were not able to do it in the podcast this week. The podcast is out by the way. Check it out, Football Focus Weekly. So today I'm going to just do the preview for every team. Teke, nieke hapo socials, then you guys can do your thing. So, starting up with early kickoff, Man City taking on Crystal Palace. Now, this game, Palace are like a boogie team for these boys. Palace are a boogie team for Man City. Boogie team. 2-2 in the reverse fixture in December. City equalized twice. City are currently 6th. They're 1 point behind Chelsea. Chelsea are tied with Newcastle. Of course, the win over Real Madrid, Arsenal's win over Real Madrid means that number 5 now goes into the Champions League as well. So a bit more breathing room, but you still need to secure. 4 of the next 5 games are against teams in the bottom half for Man City, so they need to just build that momentum, see off KDB in a nice way, and then make it to the FA Cup final. They've only won 2 of the last 6 home games versus Palace. Palace just always somehow find a way at Man City. And they have not won any of the last 3 early kickoffs. Ogopa early kickoff. The lunchtime kickoffs, they have not won any of the last 3. And Palace have lost only 2 of the last 17 since December. So this is a team that's coming with a lot of confidence. They have their boy Jean-Philippe Mateta. They're in the semifinals of the FA Cup. Wakopoa. They are 5 points behind Fulham, who are in 8th place. So Europe is also a real possibility for this team. And only Liverpool have won more points than them in the last 10 games. They've gotten 22 points in the last 10. So that's 22 out of 30. So, they're on fire. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. Wako tu sawa. Jean-Philippe Mateta, Avlin nilisema. I would like to see Nico Gonzalez start. I would like to see... Nunez was good against United, but United didn't offer that much of wing threat. Let me say wing threat. They had chances. They had better chances than City. But Nunez did well when he was called upon to do anything. But the suspension of Mark Gehi and Nketiah after them getting sent off in their last game, I think is going to be too much for them to overcome. And I see City winning 2-1 against Crystal Palace. Yeah. So that is Palace. Next up, Brighton taking on Leicester. Leicester are just done. This team is just done. This team is just about time that they also get relegated. They follow Southampton. I don't think they have any chance. They do not create chances. They concede chances. They concede goals. They don't have confidence. The manager seems like he's given up. They're playing a Brighton team that needs to bounce back. Brighton still has a very good chance of having a great season. In fact, let me just check what position they're in, because I feel like if they have a good run of games in the next few table, a good run of games, they're 9th. A good run of games, they can easily get into Europe, because Europe, it's Fulham who are in 8th place. They're 1 point behind Fulham. So, I expect a big win by Brighton here. I'm going for 4-0 for Brighton over Leicester. Then, who's next? Nottingham Forest taking on Everton. Everton are the spoilers. They drew with Arsenal. Then they lost to Liverpool, obviously, in the Merseyside derby. This is their last season at Goodison Park. Of course, this game is away, but Nottingham Forest need to win this game. Nottingham Forest, they've been on a bit of a slump. They are currently still 3rd, but I feel like they need to... If they get a few more points, because Man City are 6th, right? That's 5 points away. If they can get 3 or 4 wins, they are assured of Champions League, I feel, in my opinion. Just because of how Chelsea and Newcastle, you never know. Newcastle more so because of injuries. Chelsea also injuries, but also Europe. So you never know. So they just need to get out of their last 7 games. They need to get 4 wins, which I feel like they can do. And I feel like this is one of the games that they can win easily. So I will go with the Nottingham Forest 2-1 win. I don't know if Elanga is back, but I will, And Chris Wood as well. He's been, since the international break for New Zealand, he hasn't played much, so, or at all, I think. I didn't watch the last game. But I'm going for the Nottingham Forest win 1-0 over Everton. Then we move next to Southampton, going up against Aston Villa. Of course, Southampton have been relegated. The coach was fired. one of their boys, Adam Lallana, is now part of the coaching staff, which is wild if you just think about it. Onuachu is a doubt for this game. He's been the one who's been getting goals for them, big doubt. Flynn Downs obviously suspended. Then for Aston Villa, coming from a devastating 3-1 first leg loss, but I still feel they can get back to it. Just need to get like a good start the game well against PSG. But for that to happen, I feel like subs will have to be made. So I see Daniel Malen and Andres Garcia coming in. The two of them are suspended for Europe, like not suspended, but like ineligible, so they can't play. So these are the games where you have to play them. But with that being said, I think it's still going to be tough. Southampton have nothing to play for. It's more about vibes. I will go with an Aston Villa win, 1-0 over Southampton. I was going to say Southampton. Guy. All right, let game of Saturday sees the North London team in a London derby. Arsenal taking on Brentford. It's going to be the first time we're going to watch the boys since Declan Rice smacked one in the corner. Actually, two in the corner. I still can't get enough of that song. I have sung it since that day. Hallelujah, Declan Rice. Yes, so Rice, Saka, and Timber they all subbed off the last game. So I feel like their doubts. I don't think they will be started in this game. Arsenal needs to be all hands on deck at Real Madrid, and people need to rest. Saka obviously coming off injury. Rice, that looked like a muscular injury, so I don't think you risk him. So I see Jorginho starting this game. I see Nwaneri starting this game, and I see Benny Blanco starting this game. We have to prioritize UCL at this point. The gap is Liverpool only need 11 points to win the league. That one is gone. So prioritize the league. See if you can get your points there. We are 11 points behind, 62-57, or 5 points in front of Nottingham Forest. I think you can afford to just rotate a bit. With that being said, this is a very good chance for Brentford to come into this game and look to win a big one at Arsenal. Before losing to Newcastle away last week, they had won 5 games in a row. And the thing I'm enjoying about Thomas Frank is I used to think of him as this one-sided, like he doesn't do anything else, like his teams play one way, like Ange. But this guy has a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. Then he's been doing all these interviews with the Premier League TV, whatever, and you get an insight into how the man thinks, how he works with the team. Ameni Bambasana. I am a very big fan of Thomas Frank. He's an example of me judging the book by the cover. The guy is not what I thought. I was so used to seeing them playing with a back three, and all of a sudden against Chelsea, this guy unleashes a back four, and they were quite solid. They're not conceding chances. So I'm still expecting Pinnock at the back with Collins, Van der Berg at right back, and Lewis Potter. Jan Elton Nogard handling the midfield. Obviously, Damsgaard dropping back to help them, and Kevin Shada and Mbeumo on the wings, and Visa. This thing normally changes into a 4-4-2 anyway because Visa and Mbeumo end up in front, so they kind of share the load. So this might be the best chance Brentford have to beat Arsenal, to be fair, in a while, because I don't think they've beat them away in years. But with that being said, I will go with a draw. I will go with a 1-1 draw. I just feel like we'll rotate too much, and Brentford obviously they don't have Europe, but these guys are so well drilled, and us guys just don't have the bodies. So yeah, I'm going with a 1-1. Arsenal versus Brentford. Next up is who is next up? Chelsea taking on Ipswich. Chelsea. Impressive win during the week when they beat Legia War. Hey. Tyreek George, Unoni Madueke came off the bench. Madueke getting a double. Tyreek looked really good. Palmer was subbed out. He's still their talisman. Enzo Maresca ali confirm it wasn't an injury, ilikuwa too tactical substitution, and it worked to perfection. And that is why I think Noni Madueke needs to start this game. Ipswich are very, very solid. Like, in as much as that loss last week to Wolves was a big one, because that was a 6-point swing, right? Had they won that game, they'd be 6 points closer to 6 points closer to safety. But now they're 12 because Wolves, because there were 9, the gap was 9 points. If they won, that would have been 6. Now that they lost 12, that's a 6-point swing. They needed that win badly. And losing to Wolves means now they're 12 points behind, which means more or less they are not going to be safe. But they show so much fight. And it's like McKenna, even if they get relegated, I don't see McKenna getting fired unless he gets a big job. But I don't see him getting fired. Weirdly enough, they've been better on the road than at home. Marked by that 2-1 impressive win over Bournemouth in April, January 2021. It was the last time they played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They lost 7-0 in the FA Cup third round. Yeah. Nkunku. I don't know what's happening with the boy Nkunku, but let's see. I'm expecting a back four of Gusto, Tosin, Colwill, and Kukurea. And yeah, as I said, I would prefer Madueke Pamaneto to start just behind Jackson. Whereas for Ipswich, the danger men are Johnson, Broadhead, Enciso, and Delap. Broadhead and Enciso, like, if you guys watch these guys play up front, those four guys, Johnson, Broadhead, and Enciso. Broadhead is a dribbler, just a baller. A few weeks ago, he had one of the best assists I've seen in this season, and we did a whole video about it. So, yeah. That being said, Chelsea, I'm going with a Chelsea win. I'm going with a Chelsea 2-1 win over Ipswich. And yeah, 2-1 win. Chelsea over Ipswich. Producing my own show today. Next up, Liverpool taking on West Ham. Obviously, the big news is that Mo Salah has signed a new contract. He's staying at Anfield for an extra 2 years. Well, it's a 2-year contract. This is a great boost after all the shenanigans of Trent. So they needed this good news. Obviously, they just need 11 points to win the league, which I believe they will. This news is going to really give them that push in this game. Msaki signing a contract, but lazima mabauzi ingie. The only thing I don't think Conor Bradley will start because he's also just come back from injury, so I'm sure they'll try and ease him in. But when Curtis Jones was at right back at Fulham, he only completed 3 passes to Salah. 3. That cannot happen. 3 passes. Salah has also gone 4 games without a goal or an assist, which is the longest he's gone since 2021. So I expect him obviously to get back and score. This is the last time he did it. Like the last time he scored was the 2 penalties against Southampton in March. So boy, these people are going to get hammered. No pun intended or pun intended. The thing with Potter's West Ham is they're averaging fewer goals per game. They're averaging fewer shots on target. They're averaging fewer shots and a lower XG than Lopetegui's Hammers. The one that really stands out to me, actually the two, is that they're averaging 9.5 shots per game under Potter and 14.5 under Lopetegui. 2.67 shots on target under Potter, 4.27 under Lopetegui. That is too big a difference for me. And I feel like they don't create enough chances. They just, he wants to come and create this new style of play, but it takes time. He needs like a preseason. He needs his own players. So yeah, he's just vibing. He's trying to make the best of what someone else was trying to build, right? So I'm expecting a lot of changes in this team during the summer, and even maybe introduce more younger players, you know? So yeah, Liverpool versus West Ham. So my prediction for that is 3-1 Liverpool, Salah to get back on the score sheet, and Liverpool to be even closer to the Premier League title. Yeah. We move on to Wolves taking on Tottenham. Wolves confident. Tottenham drew 1-1 during the week to Eintracht Frankfurt. And the boy, what's his name? What's that guy's name? Ekitike doing the Henry slide in the corner of the West Ham fans was beautiful. It was just a joy to watch. Give me so much joy. And I loved to see it. Tottenham, yesterday the manager, Ange, came out and said there's a leak and he knows who he is. He's narrowed it down. So he wants to mini someone. Feels like Ole all over again. But I don't know, man. I don't know about this team. This team just looks weird. Just looks off. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just... They have their players back now. The injuries obviously has eased a lot. But I think the epitome of how they're playing is just Son, right? Because Son doesn't have that burst of speed that he's still sharp, but that burst of speed, like that, him being able to just score 4 goals in a game or 3 goals or a goal and 3 assists, like that kind of burst is not there anymore. And it's almost like, obviously the coach is a big part because who coach Mazin? Bro, Plan A, plan B, plan C. Nimesema Thomas Frank anajua story sana. You need to do something about it. Like, you can't just be so. Anyway, at this point, we know who he is. He can't change. He's not going to change. So we just live with it. But I'm going with the Wolves win. Strand Larsen, my boy, Strand Larsen. Strand Larsen is going to give them problems. Not even Cunha, Strand Larsen. So I'm going with the Wolves win. I'm going with a 2-0 Wolves win over Tottenham. And in what might be the game of the weekend, Newcastle going up against Man United, who just drew at Lyon. Onana is under fire. Onana, what's my name? Newcastle won 2-0 at Old Trafford in December. They are looking to complete the first league double over United since the 1930-31 season. 1930-31 season. Have you heard that? 1930-31 season. Yeah, so United have lost the last 2 away Premier League games at St. James's. They have won none of their 8 league games of the current top 5. So the teams that are in the current top 5, yeah, Arsenal, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, and Newcastle, they have not won any of the last 8 games. The last win over the current top 7, so that those 5 teams, including Man City and so Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Newcastle, they have not won the last 8. But if you include Man City and Aston Villa, then they have only beaten Man City. And that Man City was the 2-1 win when Nani was on fire. Ahmad, who, by the way, is about to start training on grass. We thought that he was going to miss the entire season and he might be back before the seasons, and which is great news. People are coming back from injury quickly. Even Havertz, they're saying he might be back before the season ends. But someone who's back is Kobe Mino. Kobe Mino is back. The most memorable thing he did in Lyon was pull back Lacazette and get his yellow card. But good to see the boy back because they need legs in midfield. The Ligt and Martinez obviously are out. The person that United need to watch out for is Jacob Murphy. This man has assisted 7 goals to Isak. And he's not joking around. 19 goal involvements. He has 7 goals? 8 goals and 11 assists, which is wild this season. And he scored twice at Leicester last week. Obviously, Bruno is the main man at United, so anything good comes through him. What I'm really looking forward to seeing is the battle in the midfield. Tonali, Bruno G, Joel Linton versus Ugarte, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes. Like that is where the game is going to be won or lost, because Casemiro looked very good against Man City, but the Man City midfield cannot run. So what happens when he meets runners, right? Newcastle have won the last 11 of the last 15 Premier League games. So I am backing them to win at 12th against United. I am seeing them win 3-1 over United and, just secure the hopes of top 5, which will more or less, top 5, because they have 53 points, but they have played a game less, actually. So if they win their game in hand and this one, they move to 4th and Chelsea move to 5th. So, that's the preview for this weekend's Premier League. We will have done the podcast before the next games, because I think Newcastle play who? Yeah, so there's a midweek game where Newcastle play Crystal Palace. And then there's the Monday game where Bournemouth play Fulham. Oh, I should have done Bournemouth versus Fulham. Let me do it quickly. Bournemouth versus Fulham. I'm going with... oh my God, that's a good game. Bournemouth versus Fulham. I am going with a Bournemouth... I won't say a Bournemouth win. Fulham don't look so great away from home. Bournemouth they're just balling. At home, they're just a different beast. I think they've had two weird games where they lost to Man City in the FA Cup and they lost to Ipswich 2-1. But other than that, they've been really good at home. Those boys up front. Evan Nilsson can't stop scoring. I think he scored 2 in the last game. Who else? Obviously Kluivert and my boy Semenyo, who to me is one of the most improved players in the Premier League this season. Decision making has improved dramatically. So for this game, I'll go with a Bournemouth win. I'll go with a Bournemouth 2-1 win over Fulham. And with that being said, that is the preview for the Premier League this weekend. Let me now edit this thing quickly and post it, because it is 12, and the first game I think is at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. But yeah, all of them will be up. Don't worry. I got you. Peace.